Alright, hello everyone, my name is Veritas and welcome back to Division. Now, this video is kind of like an overview of my opinion on Division 1.3 update, and kind of a where the fuck have I been? I'm on normal mode for first things first. I just wanted something easy to run through while I talk to you guys real quick, since I am pretty much soloing this. I didn't want it to take forever, but so first things first, where have I been? I pretty much was hanging out at an event over the weekend on my own, going to a bunch of shows, a bunch of panels and stuff like that, and was enjoying my time. I actually had a really good time. I hate the fucking marker down here. So I was doing that, and so in terms of like Division and stuff, what's been going on? Well, where the fuck is this guy? Up above me, I'm guessing? Yeah. So, what's going on in Division? Well, 1.3 came out, which is the 1.3 is the Underground DLC, which is like the first paid DLC in Division, so you actually have to buy this content or some shit like that. And it gives you this underground area, this this zone that is procedurally generated, is always kind of random, things like that, and yeah, so you can kind of just start missions and go and do them. As you can see, I'm on one right now. I'm on super easy bitch mode and on my own. Because I'm on my own, I figured I should do this on the easiest version possible so that I'm not, like, losing my mind or something like that. My one main complaint with the Underground update is it relies heavily on the waypoint system. And the waypoint system in Division is the worst I've ever seen in a video game. The waypoints in this game are so unbelievably terrible. Like, you can never tell where the fuck you're going. The waypoint leads you astray 95% of the time. The system is awful. It's a horrible, horrible system. And I really wish they had, like, tweaked it or fixed it in some way before putting this content out, because it is an atrocious system in terms of the fact it just doesn't fucking work. But aside from that, what are the good things about the DLC? It's fun. It's very actually fun. The previous Division updates weren't really interesting. I actually stopped playing Division. Like, in actuality, stopped playing Division when the very first incursion came out because of how broken it was, and it didn't lend itself to. There's no fire there. I waited until there was no fire there, but it wasn't fun. It didn't lend itself to be an enjoyable experience, so I decided I wasn't going to play it because of that. So, from that came me not playing Division for a long period of time. I skipped 1.1, I guess. I skipped 1.2. I came back for a little bit. After the last incursion, Falcon lost, or not Falcon lost, it was, yeah, Falcon lost. Was that the first one or the second? I don't remember. The second incursion, when that one came out, the downed helicopter or whatever, I have to go above, so I have to climb. When the second incursion came out, I did play a little bit, tried to get my gear score up a bit, ended up with a few pieces of 240 gear at the time, or whatever the highest was, and, we was playing that for a little bit, and then I was bored with it, because we tried the incursion, everyone was really shitty. The community in Division's, like, pretty hit or miss, and more miss than hit. I tend to find people that are assholes 95% of the time, and it just kind of lends itself to the game overall not being an enjoyable experience if everyone you play with is a total asshole. So I'm not a huge fan of the Division community in general. In terms of the matchmaking and things like that, because everyone's really judgmental, everyone's really pissy, everyone's really angry, really try hard, and a lot of players in the Division tend to play more along the lines of, how can I ruin everyone else's time, as opposed to having fun. And that's just kind of shitty. Like the Tanktician builds in Dark Zone, and people griefing and stuff, and people like getting like the highest gear sets possible and the highest levels possible and the most bullshit OP weapon combinations possible, then running into the Dark Zone and just ganking people, or just going out of their way to be shitty people. I really want to turn off this fucking transmission, but it's not letting me, so I guess I won't be doing that. So I'm sorry that she was talking the whole fucking time, but I never had the chance to do it. So yeah, so my experience with the Division in terms of its matchmaking systems and trying to find groups for incursions has been miserable. I've never even seen the first incursion. I played through a good portion of the second incursion, got all the way to like the end, pretty much got the boss to spawn, and then our teammate was like actively being a shithead. And decided to be like, I don't know what I'm doing, guys, and kept dying. Like pretty much was going out of their way to cause problems, just through sheer like overwhelming ignorance, which was really frustrating. And my buddy and I that I was playing with were like really pissed off that was happening. So we just kind of said fuck it. One of the guys was like really impatient with like the world around him, so he just kind of left without saying anything, and then we ended up kicking the other guy because he was actively being a shithead, and then we just ended up not doing it. The third incursion, Dragon's Nest, that came out in 1.3, I haven't seen anything about it, but the problem with it is like I want there to be a website for Division like there is for Destiny, where it's like there's a subreddit dedicated to finding a team to play with. And there really isn't. There's really no way to find teams to play with in the Division that, you know, are not in-game match-made, and I don't really care for in-game matchmaking because it throws people in that are, like, not good people. You know, I'm not someone who judges someone based on the number next to their name, but you need to be competent. You know, you can have a 200 gear score and be competent, and I'll play with you more than I'll play with someone who's like 245 and a shithead, or doesn't know what they're doing. You know, I'm not someone who judges based on number, because that's just stupid. You know, Destiny's taught me that. Don't judge based on what you see, judge on, you know, how they perform, and things like that. And it's just frustrating that Division doesn't really have a set way of, like, going about curating a group that works for you, and it just takes forever, and everyone is just aggressive and hateful and angry, and if you get downed one time, everyone leaves and sends you hate mail, and it's excessive, and I just don't like the community in this game. You know, I know that's not everyone, but it's the loud portion of it, and it frustrates me a lot that it's so what's the word for it? Like unfun, I guess would be the word for that. It lends itself to being like a really shitty experience, and you just end up not wanting to play it at all. You know, and people that have less patience than I do in terms of playing games like this, you know, I feel bad, because it's like if anyone's even partially casual, this game would feel, you know, shitty. So, you know, I can put up with it because I played a lot of Destiny and I played a lot of this, and it's like I've gotten over people being assholes, and it's just like, it's whatever, those are shitty people. And, you know, you're going to find shitty people wherever you go, but, you know, I'd like to do the incursion, and I'd like to, you know, play more of this underground on super hard difficulties, but it's not conducive to how everyone in the game plays. And, you know, trying to find a group is just a chore. But in terms of the underground itself, like the activity that I've been doing so far, like the procedurally generated, like dungeon-esque random nonsense that this is, and having like modifiers. I don't have any modifiers on right now. I put it on like super easy bitch mode. But, you know, I usually play it on hard with a couple modifiers, and I play it in matchmaking, and it's usually okay. I play with a friend so that I'm the group leader, so I don't get kicked out of groups, because that's a genuine concern and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, you have to be really careful with how you play it, but it's fun overall. I really like 1.3 and all the underground, you know, the dungeon clearing form of gameplay that it gave, and I do enjoy it a lot. It's fun. I just wish that that there were systems in place that made matchmaking more reliable, or there were websites in place that kind of alleviated the matchmaking in game being so random and 95% of the time being so bad. But, you know, until those things exist in a capacity that's good, and until they exist in a way that's, you know, reliable and you know, battle tested, I'll kind of keep on a negative look at how the matchmaking works. But like I said, overall, the underground operations are fun. You know, just coming back here, grabbing a thing, planning it, hard mode, one phase, grabbing some modifiers, going in, getting match made, and running down here and, you know, hitting the train or whatever. You know, it's fun. It reminds me kind of like strikes in Destiny. You know, it's something you can do mindlessly, and it's, you know, you can just do it for a while. And you get decent loot out of it. You know, like I said, I don't play very much of this, and you know, I've got the gear set blind, which is kind of nice, which is why when I was killing people, sometimes they dropped flashbangs or whatever. But you know, I do like the game. It's fun, but you have to be really careful with how you play it, or else, you know, you're gonna end up in a situation you don't really want to be in, and with people you don't really want to be playing with, and all that kind of stuff. So that's my 2 cents for that. It's a fun update, but it needs work. And speaking away from the actual 1.3 update, in terms of the underground operations and all this nonsense, is like the weaponry. There's a gun right now, the G36C, or military G36. This gun that I have on my primary slot, this puppy, these two. The G36 is a fantastic weapon. It's really good. You know, it handles well. It actually chews through armor pretty nicely. You know, if I was playing in hard mode, you can pretty much down a yellow bar in one clip, or at least there's shields in one clip, which is very, very nice. And that doesn't exist. You know, that doesn't exist in any other weapon, really. And it's the gun that we need to be in the game. It's the bar that has been set that other guns need to reach or be able to compete with. And the problem with that is Massive has already said, the developers behind Division have already said that the G36 was already slated to get nerfed heavily before this update even came out. Like, it was released without a nerf that it was supposed to have, and they're basically going to ruin the gun. And the problem with that is Division has the same problem that Crota Hard Mode had when it came out for Destiny, if you're unfamiliar with that. Crota Hard Mode was a raid. I use raid loosely, but it was a raid that essentially was artificial difficulty. The enemies were over-leveled to the point where it wasn't difficult in terms of mechanics or ability or anything. It was difficult in terms of everything was a bullet sponge, and it was hard to play because you were too low of a level and everything else was too high, so it made it artificially difficult. It wasn't difficult in terms of, you know, your ability. It was difficult in terms of it was designed horribly, and unfair, and not fun. And that's what Division's designed as. It's the embodiment of the whole game is you're underleveled, everything else is overleveled and a bullet sponge. Every enemy on hard and challenging is just a fucking bottle of health, and there's no weapons that are really good against them. You know, there's no way to really fight that effectively. You know, as you level up the game, you know, red health enemies, you know, you find weapons that can kill them faster, and you find weapons that can kill veterans or purple health enemies faster, but you never really find any weapons that are good or useful against elites or yellow enemies, golden enemies. You never find anything that does that. You end up having to just throw, you know, enough damage at them to where you kill 100 purples to kill 1 yellow, like that kind of thing. There's no weapons that really kind of match up tier-wise with elite enemies, and it's frustrating. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing, because that's not how you make a fun game. You need something that fights the upper-level enemies. And I'm not saying you need a weapon that, you know, one clips a boss, but you need a weapon that one clips a regular elite. That needs to exist. They need to bring the rest of the weapons in the game up to par with the G36, so it doesn't stand out as the ultimate choice. Right now, there's no reason to use anything other than the G36, because it's the outlier. It's the best choice. It's the gun that every other gun is supposed to be at. And if they would bring the rest of the weapons up close to it, then there would be variation, because people would use a bunch of different weapons. And the problem isn't like, oh, the G36 is overpowered And if we bring everything else up, everything's overpowered, and then the game has this power creep that's just ruining everything. It's not. The problem is everything in the game is underpowered except the G36. The G36 is like at par with where things should be. And everything is below it. So if they brought everything up to it, everything would be on an even playing field of par, as opposed to being OP or overpowered. You know, everything's underpowered, the G36 is powered, and then they're going to nerf it, as opposed to bringing everything up to powered. Because nothing in the game is overpowered. You can build overpoweredly, but it takes a lot of dedication. Your build has to be specific, and it takes a lot of mechanics, and it's only for like 5 seconds at a time and shit like that, and that's fine. You're supposed to be able to do that, but the fact that they're going to nerf it because it's the, you know, it's the best gun in the game right now, it's only because every other gun in the game is so unbelievably terrible at endgame. So I really hope that they figure this the fuck out, because they're gonna nerf it, and it's gonna go back to taking 5 clips to take an armor bar off an elite, and it's gonna be fucking miserable. So for now, enjoy your G36s until they nerf it for whatever fucking reason. You know, that's a frustration, but, you know, enjoy it while you can until the developers ruin it. It's pretty much how Division has been going, which sucks, because I love Division, and it's fun as hell, but goddamn, they need to learn how to develop, because it's just, like, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that there's something down the pipeline, and they're going to, like, rework all the tools and make everything come in line. There's a patch that makes everything good again, and, you know, but they haven't been showing that, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but, you know, what can you do? Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I'm done spieling. Second half of this is not even in a mission, but I didn't want to start one and not be able to finish it, so. Underground rank 15, woo! But, yeah. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments in the section below, go ahead and leave that. I'm interested to see what you guys think about Division so far. How you've been having fun with the 1.3? No, yes. You have a G36? No, yes. That kind of thing. If you've been having fun with it, let me know. And who's excited for the nerf? Yay! But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, until the next video, have a great day, everybody.